Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are doing the next episode in Fallout, episode 6. It's called The Other Player.
And it is season 2, just so you guys know. That's usually something that Safi's supposed to say. But anyways, I'd like to start off this review by saying, it's really funny because there's a lot of pussy-ass bitches who complain about me. And they say, oh, Marco, all you do is give negative reviews. Meh. And it's so funny because I went on Twitter yesterday and looked at all the Fallout reactions, and everyone was saying the exact same things that I've been saying for weeks upon weeks. They said too many characters, too many storylines, the show sucks, the writing sucks, everything about it sucks, and they need more episodes. And so I just think that's pretty funny. After all these weeks, everyone is saying the exact same things as me. It just goes to show I was right all along. What do you think of that, Safi?
Well, there was also the thing you brought up where people are getting down because they think that all the episodes should have been released at the same time.
Yeah, there was someone who actually said the show is bad because they're releasing one episode a week.
And I don't agree because...
It's like, well, what does that have to do with the writing of the show or the quality of the show?
Right. It's still going to be the same. The thing is, with so much material to digest, it would be an information overload to have them all come on at the same time. And then what do? I mean, whether you're like us and you're reviewing it, or you're just somebody who watches the show for fun, for entertainment, do you watch everything, you just binge it all at the same time? We did that last year and it's awful. It's kind of like painful because it's just so much. And as a person who just watches it for entertainment, is that your way of entertaining yourself? I mean, if you like...
What is even entertaining about this show, though?
Well,
there's literally nothing entertaining this entire season.
I guess if you like the characters, like you like the character of Lucy, or
are they really even characters, though? Are they even really characters at this point?
What else would they be?
I don't know. I mean, what are they even? Like, all they are just...
Conduits?
They're just, like, objects to, like, move the plot along. Like, okay, this character needs to go here for this thing to happen, and then this character needs to go here for this thing to happen. That's not characters. That's not characters. That's trash. And this show is trash. I'm so glad because... the more and more people complain how negative I am about every movie and show, the more negative I'm going to get. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie about a show being good or a movie being good to please some nameless, faceless retards on YouTube. I'm going to say whether or not I liked or disliked a movie or show. And I don't like Fallout Season 2. I think it's trash. I think the show is trash. It's just getting more and more convoluted, complicated, and just it's going nowhere. And it has nothing. It has nothing going on. If you release these episodes all at once, it would still be just as bad as it is currently.
Probably give you a psychosis or something.
I know.
Problem because it's just so much information.
It's just
Your
so
head
much.
Would explode.
So much bullshit. Well, maybe that would be appropriate because that's happened a lot on this season.
Right.
Heads exploding.
But I'd rather watch it since we've had the both experience of both of having a season completely downloaded out. And just watching one episode after another, and then we have this season where it's one episode a week. I prefer it to be this way, this season, the way they presented it.
Well, that's how every TV show should be. And I think it's funny, too, because if anything, it's exposing how bad the writing always was. Because with Dexter Resurrection came out last year, the first season, and guess what? That was a fantastic season, and I gave that show a good review, but nobody seems to pay attention to that. But anyways, that show was really, really good. It did have some issues, though. I mean, it was kind of rushed. It should have had like 13 to 16 episodes. But that's every TV show nowadays. But that show came out week to week, and everyone loved it. And every week they release a new trailer. People would look forward to the next episode. They would theorize. They would have big discussions about what was going to happen. Nobody said, "Oh my God, the show sucks because they didn't release all the episodes at one time." Nobody said that. But for Fallout, it's the exact opposite, because it's exposing, because now you have a week to actually digest the episodes.
Right.
And so you're able to really process and see just how bad the writing is, just how bad the characters are, just how bad the quote-unquote story is. And you're able to see that what this show always was a nostalgia bait, key jangling show. That's all it ever was. Remember this? Remember that? Remember the Brotherhood of Steel? I remember. Remember Vaults? Remember Fallout? Remember all that stuff? Remember sugar bombs?
Yeah.
I remember. That's all the show ever was. The show was never good. The show was always bad. And this season's even worse. I don't know how they did it. I mean, last season, the finale was probably one of the top 10 worst finales I've ever seen in the history of television. And somehow, the show continues to get worse and worse. Why? Why wouldn't they try to improve it? Why are they just doing this thing every single episode where it's like, oh, here's a bunch of references, and then here's like a little bit of story with like 1,000 different characters? Like, why would you do that? It's so dumb. These people are getting paid to make a horrible show for a second season, and now a third season. They already got renewed for a third season on this trash show.
Well, hopefully they can listen to what people are saying and digest it and improve it.
Well, Safi, what do you have to say?
Well, I'm not going to go into all that.
Why?
I'll just bring up my questions.
No, Safi, this is a review. You have
okay,
to
Marco,
go into your review.
I don't know how much more I can add to it.
What?
Except that
Really?
in this episode, basically, they kind of did more of a focus on certain... I mean, they really spent a lot of time. For instance, they did a lot more interaction between Coop, the ghoul, and his wife before all that happened, but it kind of just raised more, for me, it raised, because I haven't played the whole game, and maybe those questions are addressed in the game, about everything that's happened and why it's happened, and their relationship. I think he still loves her, but he said some, for example, he says, because he's found out everything. Either he was told some stuff that they didn't put on camera, or he's really smart. He's basically figured everything out from the little that he was told. But he says to her, "Were you a monster back then, or did you change?"
And that was a horrible line. That was a terrible line. He's like, "Were you a monster all along, or did you turn into one?" And Safi, do you realize why they did that line?
No.
Because they're trying to parallel that with the fact that Cooper becomes a literal monster. He becomes a ghoul. So he turns into a monster.
Oh.
So it's supposed to... So that's how cringeworthy...
Weird.
We got cringeworthy college class level writing here, were you always a monster, or did you turn into one? And then you see Cooper, who became the ghoul. It's like, oh, I know what we're doing here. Like, that is pretentious as hell. It's stupid line. All those flashback scenes just go nowhere. They're just meandering, pointless, nonsensical, overly long. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these stupid flashbacks. It's like, it reminds, Safi said before, it's like a soap opera. Like, don't soap operas you think of Dark Shadows. Like, Dark Shadows in a lot of seasons, they would have a lot of flashbacks. Like, from what I remember, like, in the later seasons, they had, like, a whole season of flashbacks, like, to Barnabas's origins or whatever, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's something soap operas do.
Well, I don't know, because if anybody can remember, it's been a long time since I've watched, because it's been off the air for a long time. All My Children is the main one I watched. Well, I watched years ago. I don't remember the use of flashbacks like this.
Really?
They've got a whole, but you have to, because the world's just changed and turned to a nightmare, devastated land with all kinds of weird creatures and sick people who changed into beasts or monsters, or I don't know, figures you would never have seen or heard of. Like, look at Coop. Look what he changed into. A ghoul. And so ghouls, that's just one of the peoples or whatever that this horrible devastation on the planet has turned them into.
It's almost like that's the point of the show. Like, that the point is that this is an apocalyptic story, an apocalyptic show, and the writers are so bad that they have to constantly go back to flashbacks because they can't figure out what to do in present day in the apocalypse.
Well, and really, after watching this episode, because I think they started to focus on it, but it isn't clear to me why this all had to be done.
Yeah.
Because now he doesn't want to seem to talk about the show. What happened into it. But
I do. What are you talking about?
The wife is, and then they do, his wife, I'm sorry I don't remember her name, but anyway, they did a lot of work with her. Showing her and who she talked to and who talked to her. And it seems like, from what she says and everything that happens is inevitable.
Yeah.
Why? For what purpose? I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like a never-ending puzzle box. It's like when you talk to a person who just can't stop talking, and they keep on, like, you wonder, like, okay, is this conversation going anywhere? And they we
saw that yesterday.
They just keep talking and talking. Yeah.
For real.
They just keep talking and talking and talking, and you're like, okay, what's the point of all this? Like, objection, Your Honor, where is this leading?
I don't understand why destroying the planet was inevitable, because it was deliberate.
I guess because the show had to happen. I guess that would be the reason. Well, the
thing is, this guy, and I've seen him, I can't remember his name, he's married to this actress who is really funny. Everybody likes her. She's on CBS. She has her own show. And he was on a show where, and I can't remember the name, but he was really good. They just showed him once. Okay, so I don't remember I don't know his name. But he only had one, like, small scene, unless he was on before, or maybe he'll be on later. But he approaches the wife on the elevator. I'm just calling her the wife. Sorry about that. And he says, this is all going to take place no matter what you do. And you have to tell him that he should their corporation or whatever you want to call it, company,
Vault-Tec
should destroy the planet instead of whoever else looks like is going to be destroying the planet. Why do they need to destroy the planet? Why it doesn't make any sense, and it scares me because of things happening in real life.
Because
why do you have to do this? Why?
Because war never changes,
Well,
and that they're saying that over and over and over again in the show now. Safi, that's like a famous line for the games. They say it like once at like the beginning or end of a Fallout game. So they're constantly saying that now. They're saying that like so many times you could take shots every time they say it, which is another sign of bad writing. And
he also says, sorry, you are just a very replaceable part in the machine, just like I am.
That's a really bad line too. So I'd like to say this show is a very replaceable part in the machine. You know, like, I can't wait until this show's over and another show comes out instead. We can watch that, review it, which might just be another bad show as well. Because,
Dark Winds is coming out.
Oh, well, there you go. That's going to suck.
February.
That's going to suck really badly.
Well,
just like the last 3 seasons.
Joe Leaphorn is going to be going to L.A. to track down a murderer.
Joe Leaphorn.
He's going to be off the reservation, and so he's going to be in L.A.
Because that worked out so well last season with the stupid Border Patrol storyline. But anyways, these flashbacks, you know, the reason why the episode's called the Other Players, because Mr. House last episode, you know, which, you know, Safi should remember the last episode, Mr. House talked about there's another player at the table and they're going to drop the bombs, and I don't know who the other player is. So that's why the episode's called The Other Player.
Is
so
the
I
other
don't know.
player Kyle?
No, I don't know. There's like a mystery of like, who runs Vault-Tec? Who's the other player? Like, and it's like, I don't even really care, to be honest. I want to see, the story that I want to see is the story that's in the apocalypse, that's in the present day. I don't care about the pre-war crap. I really don't. Like, there's a few scenes, like, if you took all the scenes from this season that were in the flashbacks, I would probably cut out like 90% of them. Like, that's how useless they are. I really don't care. And then we go to the present day. Or do you have anything else to say about the flashbacks, Safi? Because
no,
there's really nothing to say. It's just like, it's so boring. It's so
no, I don't.
Convoluted.
I did tell about this guy, and he says the only way to guarantee results is to drop the bomb ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's for her to tell Mr. House that, I believe. So
someone's going to commit murder. We have to commit it first.
Well, there's another flashback that happens at the very end, but I don't want to bring it up yet.
Someone's going to steal that birthday cake. We got to go steal it first. That's just stupid logic.
Yeah, it is, but I'm wondering if you have people who have dementia or they're schizophrenic or something, that's the kind of decision making that they do. When they're
it's like
that messed up.
It's like the night before Christmas, not the movie, but it's the night before Christmas, and you have a couple little kids that go downstairs. They see all their presents under the tree, and they're like, you know, someone in the world opened their presents already, so we should go do that too. You know, like, it's just, well, anyways, this episode, it was, again, very, very fragmented, and, like, I don't even know where to begin, like, which storyline is even worth talking about.
Let's talk about the ghoul.
Oh, okay.
Okay, last time we saw the ghoul,
yeah, he
was impaled. Now, in any normal, and I'm saying normal because in real life, it just wouldn't never happen, but this is Fallout, and even if you get impaled, like, they showed his chest in the story.
Looks painful.
Near the end, and there was a big hole. In fact, you could look through the hole and see to the other side of the room. So, I'm not going to bring it up yet how that happens, but anyway, he's impaled, so you'd think he'd be dead. I thought he'd be dead. Marco says no. Well, he was right.
Well,
he spends the whole episode trying to extricate, and I can't even imagine what that would be like. Extricate himself from being impaled, where he would have to climb, which means using his arm strength, pull himself up the pole, and somehow getting up over it. I don't even know how he was going to do that anyway.
See, Safi, if he was a stripper, he would have known what to do.
I don't know. I don't know how
So
many
see-
strippers have impaled themselves on the pole they're climbing.
Well, that's the only time that I've ever seen, like, see, being a stripper would have come in handy here. You know, like, because he would have known how to work the pole.
Well, he's living a sickly life. I mean, being a ghoul, you have to take this kind of medication every so often to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm sure Marco does. But anyway, so his arms are spindly. He's not actually muscular, but he actually made it to the top of the pole.
And then he slid back down.
Oh, God, and that was...
The thing that I really didn't like, which I gotta say too, after reflection, I think he probably should have died, because I think about the games. I don't think you could have survived that if that happened, even in the game. You know, like, I think that was totally plot armor, and totally stupid too. Like, they didn't have to have him get impaled. That was just... But the thing I really didn't like was that Dogmeat showed up. I really don't like what they've done with Dogmeat this season, because he showed up and then he just stands there and then he leaves. And the thing that bothers me is that that's, like, literally all he's done the whole season. Like, in the first season, he was he was a much better character, and it really doesn't fit in with the games.
And it doesn't fit in with the way that breed is, because I've been reading about them, and they have to constantly have things to do.
Yeah.
And to keep them occupied. So I can't imagine what he was like on set when, of course, I don't know how they're filming the scenes with the dog, but I mean, the dog has to be incorporated with the humans, so there's a lot more going on than just the dog part of it, especially in this episode. And he has to constantly be, they're extremely smart, and they have to be, I don't know what you call it, worked with, or, played with, they have to be stimulated intellectually, because they're so smart, and they could cause a problem. And so, he was there, and then he was by him, and he looks at him like, when are you going to get yourself extricated from that pull like he could? And then he runs off, and you don't see him.
Yeah, he just runs off. He leaves the episode.
End of the episode.
Yeah, until the end.
And that was a significant thing, but that was a fetch.
I don't like that. I don't like that, because that feels like it's totally inaccurate to the games. In the games, if you have a companion, they're following you no matter where you are. Yeah. If that happened in the game, the dog just would have stood there until the other guy came and caught him. So actually, then what happens is a big character. A lot of people in the trailers thought it was going to be Maximus, but it was actually a super mutant. And he takes him back to his place.
Well, he breaks the pole, and then he can just slip him off.
and then he... I immediately knew it was going to be a super mutant, because outside his place, all the mutants, they have these bags of, like, bones, I think, that hang over poles or something. Like, they have these little bags, and they showed one of those bags, and I went, oh, cool, it's going to be a Nightkin or a super mutant, and it was a super mutant. And I liked the design, actually. The design was... People have pointed out it was like the earlier games. And this scene, I think, was probably my favorite part of the episode. He cures the ghoul by putting like a jewel in the hole.
I thought it was radium or something.
Or uranium or something.
Or uranium. I don't know. I couldn't hear right.
But it looked like a jewel, though. You know.
Yeah, and this is a hole. This is the size of a let's say the bottom of a measuring cup, the circumference. And so it's and it's deep. Like I said, you could look through the hole and see the other side of the room. So it goes clear through the body. So, he puts that in there, and of course, that does cure him. But he's still weak and everything, but...
And he says all this stuff like...
Well, I've got it written down.
You have to get your strength because there's a war coming.
And we need your help.
And it's like...
He says, they call us abominations, but they created our kind.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, God, that was so weird. It's like, oh, what's the war that's coming? There's a war coming now?
What other war? But of course
cares?
Now, between that... Remember that that army of... or those groups of
the stupid
robots?
Brotherhood of Steel?
Yeah, about their Civil War... I don't think he's talking about that. I think he's talking about something else.
They would call that the Stupid War.
Mm-hmm.
If they had like history books in the Fallout universe, you'd have World War I, World War II, all the different wars, like the War of 1812, I think, the Mexican-American, all the different kinds, the Civil War, all those kinds. And then you would have, at the very end, the Stupid War, and it would just have a picture of the Brotherhood of Steel, and it would be like, yeah, fuck them. And then I think he also mentions the Enclave.
Yes, he does.
The Enclave is like this other thing that, Bethesda is obsessed with. They're like the Brotherhood of Steel, except they're just slightly more retarded. And so they're I think a lot of people have been saying, like, okay, like, the whole point is that the Enclave is behind everything.
Well, it sounded like it's the name of the organization that created the monsters, ghouls, and all the mutants, whatever. So they created them on purpose?
I don't even know. I mean, I'm not going to claim that I'm some expert on the Fallout lore when I've only played the 3rd, the 4th, and New Vegas. But I'll just say that coming from an entertainment standpoint, this show feels like a never-ending slop cycle. Like, you're just constantly raising more questions than answers with not enough time to resolve anything for this season, like to introduce this new like big story of like, oh, well, there's going to be this big war, apparently, another big war besides the Brotherhood one. It's like I'm tired of all these new storylines just constantly getting introduced. I just want the show to forget about that and just stick to the ones that are there. And I think also that this season being the quote-unquote New Vegas season is like the biggest failure of 2026, even though the 2026 has only just begun. So even though it's only just begun, this season is the biggest failure of 2026 because it is not doing Fallout New Vegas justice. It's not doing the fans justice. And just because you call me miserable because I thought that the show was a piece of shit isn't going to change the fact that the show wasn't a piece of shit. The show is a piece of shit, or whatever, however you would say it. Like, this show, it has gotten so much worse, and it's the prime example of this is why TV shows need more episodes. But even then, if they have more episodes, they might just do the same thing, but with more episodes. So they might introduce, like, oh, well, we got to start the 5,000 storyline now and introduce another character. It's like, no, tell the stories that are there with the characters that are there. What do you think, Safi? Because you agree with some of the stuff I say sometimes, so.
Well, I agree. That's true. If they did have more episodes, if they're not going to do the right thing, that they, if you have more episodes, you have to know what to do with them. And if they don't know what to do with what they have now, would they know what to do if they had more?
I don't know.
So that's the question. But anyway.
Because, Safi, do you know about... you know the story structure, right? You know, like, rising action, climax, the declining action, or whatever you call it, and then the
I don't
resolution.
know all the technical names, but, you just know if you've read enough. And I've read, like, a book a day over the last few weeks to try to drive the depressive news out of my brain. But anyway, you read enough, you know what it should be doing. And so...
well, yeah, like, what is the story structure here? Like,
well, I don't know. It's because they have so many... And they have... And
if you
brought it up
zoomed
before,
out...
in a soap opera, they have so many more days to do these things, which would be so many more episodes.
Yeah.
This time, we're limited to 8. We've got, in this episode alone, I'll just say all the subjects. We haven't even gone back to the vault with the eye patch girl, that vault. And then we have that. Then we have Lucy and her father. Then at the end, we actually have a little bit of Maximus and his friend.
Thaddeus?
And the ghoul. Thaddeus and the ghoul.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
And
you're forgetting, too, another storyline that they didn't even cover was the Norm. Norm.
Yeah, I
Safi?
know.
You know Norm?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if that was part of the story or if that was...
That was a trailer.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say.
So that wasn't even in the episode. That was in the... And so, see, the show has so many stories that they're having to say, oh, well, this episode, we'll just leave that out, and then we'll come back to it. And then this episode... That's a terrible way of telling stories. That's too much.
And that does happen in a soap opera. They will do that.
Yeah.
They'll have something, and it'll almost be like a cliffhanger.
It's usually, though, isn't it more so because, like, an actor goes on vacation or something? Or, like, an actor...
Yeah, they do have that.
An actor gets pregnant. They have to have, like, pregnant leave or whatever. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, she went on vacation with her boyfriend. The soap opera.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. But well, anyway, let's talk about another. So anyway, do you want to talk about at the end about what the ghoul, or just forget that for now?
Ugh. I guess we could touch upon.
Because it won't be very long. What?
It's just there's so much shit.
I don't think the monster. He didn't seem to get the ghoul to agree with him that he would be helping them with their war or whatever it is he's talking about.
Yeah.
And so he takes them and he drops them off in this abandoned place.
Yeah.
And anyway, his hat and pack are still with him, though. But he's like sitting up, leaning against, because, he really has been with his body, no matter if he was fixed or not. He's not back to normal. He's worn out and weakened. And so remember Maximus and that other guy who had the suit on and was working with those kids in the factory.
You just say the other guy, Safi.
And they're wandering around in the desert to trying to get away from what was happening, and Maximus says they have to abandon the suit because it's, it has a tracking device or technology in it,
and so
they have to get away from it.
They end up finding the ghoul, and then they reveal that they have the cold fusion, and then he's like, "How did you get that?" And then the episode ends. But there's another flashback where Cooper decides he's gonna do something. I don't know what he wanted to do or whatever, but he takes Kyle up to his room, and Kyle, once again, I knew that Safi was going to appreciate his hair. Kyle's black hair, his jet black dyed hair, and he looks so creepy and monstrous.
It just looks terrible because it just... Anybody knows. I mean, when you get older, you can't dye your hair a very dark color. It looks worse. And it makes you look worse because your skin is just different and you're pale. And so the dark color contrasts so much, it just makes you look worse. But anyway, they're trying to make him look younger. And because they're doing a flashback when he was younger.
He takes Kyle to a hotel room, and he drugs his drink, and then he opens up his briefcase, and there's this injector thing, and then Barbara comes in, and she takes the injector thing and sticks it into Kyle's neck, and then she takes out this vial from the injector, and that's the cold fusion.
Which shocked me. What?
How does that make sense at all? That's weird. That's just another...
And I asked Marco, too, am I seeing what I'm seeing?
But yeah, I'm so confused about just everything that's going on with the show. And that was just like... That was like the ultimate, like, what the hell? You know, like, what the hell is going on here?
I did want to bring up with the ghoul that the dog, that was his next and last scene of the episode. He had the hat, and he found Maximus and his friend, and he led him to the ghoul. So, led them to the ghoul. So I just want to say that was his next part.
Oh, wow.
I had to. It's just such a beautiful dog.
The dog.
And I'm just so glad that they're still keeping it alive, that they're not going to... But I don't see... He's so smart. I just don't see how they could...
the cameo dog.
The cameo. Yeah, it is practically a cameo dog.
And then let's just go to another storyline now. So let's go to the Incest Club.
Oh, God.
The pointless storyline. Or wait, there's two. There's two different Vault storylines. There's that one, and then there's the guy with the evil wife who... Okay, so that story... Woody has gone missing, and Woody is the guy who reported the Overseer to herself last episode. He has gone missing. And the mustache guy, I can't remember what his name is, because there's just so many characters. He brings that up to Chet, and Chet is the stay-at-home husband, and
who takes a baby with him everywhere. And
whatever.
There's no baby. It's so funny. I mean, they don't even try.
But everyone says there's going to be like a wedding that happens, and he's like, what are you talking about? And then he goes and he finds a poster, and he's like, oh, I guess me and that the eye patch woman are getting married tomorrow in the atrium. And so I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here with that story.
But this is just bizarre to me, because they all know that they're in this place, that they have to have water.
Yeah.
And they're not outside.
No, Safi, that's the different story. That's a different Vault.
But the thing with the dessert people, the dessert club, or whatever, it's bizarre. I don't get it. They got this mountain, this huge dessert, like it would be for a big party, a huge party, and that somebody made, and it's like a Jell-O dessert, and I mean, there's whipped cream. It's perfectly made. Who made that? And I mean, in the vault, and you have to have water too to make that. Any kind of Jell-O creation, you have to have hot water and cold water, and or ice, which is cold water, frozen water.
Well, when I saw that, I got grossed out again, and what happens is Betty, the other overseer, and all these guards, they come in, they storm in.
And where did they come from?
They're there. They're just regular people that just had to dress up like that. I mean, we've seen that in the games.
Oh.
Vault riot gear. But she comes in and she says that until the water situation is fixed, there will be no more snacks. the snack budget is over, and this club is... Did she say the club's disbanded or whatever? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And then I thought, personally, I didn't like the storyline, but I thought that it was interesting, kind of like in a social experiment way.
Well, it was interesting because of the reaction they got from the people in the club.
Well, yeah, because the main guy, the head of it, I don't know what's going on with his character.
Well, he's goofy and unrealistic.
He just says, "No, you can't tell us what to do." And oh yeah, there's like a famine going on. Who cares about a fucking famine? Who gives a fuck? And then she's like, "What? You're literally that stupid?" And then all the other people are like, "Yeah, I'm glad he finally said something."
And they're clapping and cheering. I'm like, what? I
thought that was hilarious because it's pretty stupid. It's like these people are pretty stupid, but it's pretty accurate to real life. It's like, yeah. I'm glad someone said that the sky was purple. Nobody else says that. Everyone says the sky is blue. And they're wrong.
Yeah, I could say a lot, but I won't say anything. But boy, last few weeks, yeah. And the people that agree with the things that have been going on, they're out of their minds. It's just
I'm
like
tired.
People.
I'm tired of people saying that killing people is wrong. I personally think that killing people is perfectly okay.
Well, but what kills me is everything that's happening, even in real life, it's going to affect them too. And so these people are running out of water. It will affect them. And where do they think they're going to get more? Is it they think it's just going to come out of a magical plant or something?
They don't understand.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And who are these people? Where do they come from?
They're all incest babies.
Which I've looked at. I have YouTube videos about that. They wouldn't look as pretty as they would.
No, they wouldn't.
They would look ugly and deformed. Because when you have this kind of inbreeding...
Yeah, they look like the royal family, you know?
No, Marco, I'm sorry. These people would look... I mean, they couldn't even function.
Shots fired.
Speak, walk. Their bones would be deformed. And they've had evidence of this in history. And with incest and breeding.
Yeah, like the royal family.
No, Marco, cut it out. Anyway,
the quote-unquote royal family.
Marco, cut it out.
The German royal family.
I don't know what that is. But anyway, so we have that, and it just ends with they're like throwing little temper tantrums, and they don't show anything else. And then I guess we've got to talk about...
I'm just glad that those people aren't able to vote.
Yeah, but we have enough of those people in real life voting who voted for what we have right now, which is a disaster. Okay, so anyway, let's see. We have to go to Lucy and her father. Remember now, she captured him.
Wait, no, he captured her first, and then she woke up and
right.
she went to go capture him.
She did a turnabout.
And he surrendered.
Yes, because he knows that what he's going to show her, and she's smart enough to see, I think, at the end of everything she's seen, and that she's too naive and idealistic for her own good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's going to do. I guess he showed some upcoming trailers.
He has some kind of a plan.
But I don't understand what the plan is.
It's really sad because he gives himself up and he gives this speech where he said, well, Lucy, there just comes a point in a man's life where he has to take responsibility for his actions. And it's like, honestly, like it would have been cool for him to be an actual character to where he actually meant that. But as a person who's seen the show, not a fan, but a person who's seen the show, that he has some sort of ulterior motives. He's got other things going on. He's probably not genuine about what he's saying at all. And, but who knows what's going on?
Yeah, well, he shows her
Yeah.
On the way, she's leading him. She got a knife to his throat, and he just thinks it's hysterical. He's not. You can tell he's not serious.
Yeah.
And because he knows she is smart, but she's naive and idealistic. But I mean, that's the way she was brought up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his fault,
I did like the acting. I really enjoyed the acting of Kyle and her. I thought they both did a great job.
That was probably the best part of the show, don't you think?
Yeah, I just really enjoyed seeing them act, but it's like the script. Ugh.
But anyway, and then all these people, they're all in, like, it's like a factory, only you're sitting at a desk and doing your activity. You're not at a big, like at a car factory or, before, like, I've seen pictures of Sears where they were putting together, clothes and objects where, there's different people attaching different parts or sewing different parts. You have each person has their own desk. They're all wearing like a white shirt and dark pants or dark dress or skirt or whatever.
And they're all acting mind controlled.
Yeah.
And just perfectly happy.
And that's that automated man objects that has been put in their necks.
Yeah, they all have a chip in their neck. And Kyle says, look, Lucy, this is how society should be.
And she's like looking at him like, you're insane, which is true. It's true.
Yeah.
But he's taken people like one of them, he went through a few of them. One had been a killer, and they were now making trail mix or something.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then he talked about a couple of other ones.
I would have eaten that trail mix, though. Like, I think one of the issues I have with this episode, like one of the many, is that Lucy, she never stops to eat. Like, she wakes up and there's like a big box of Sugar Bomb cereal. She doesn't eat that. And then she goes to Kyle's place and he made like a dinner. He cooked dinner for two. She doesn't eat that. She doesn't let him eat that. And then they go to this big office room and she doesn't even eat the trail mix. It's like, look, I get like, when people say like, oh, like, this character is like, like Beaver and Leave It to Beaver. Like, he's too upset to eat any of his dinner. He's not touching his dinner. Oh, no, Ward. Beaver isn't touching his dinner. What's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong, Mommy. I'm just Beaver Queever. Nothing is wrong. I just don't want to get in trouble for what I did. That's a Leave It to Beaver episode for you. But, like, realistically, why don't you just sit down and eat, Lucy? Like, why don't you just sit down, eat a sandwich, and then get going?
I know she doesn't even eat on the go.
Yeah.
Like, grab some trail mix in a bag or something. But I think she feels like she can't stop holding her father with a knife to his neck. And then what happens, Marco? Are those two people from the Legion?
They might be Legion or they might be cons. And they come in, and she saw them earlier in the hallway. They passed her, and they just didn't say anything. I don't know what was going on. But the salesman guy, the drug guy, he brings them in, and Kyle says that all the salesman has to do is press a button, and then they'll magically be mind controlled now. And she says, no! And then they start killing each other and trying to kill her. That was kind of cringe, because it was like, yeah, okay, like, this was so contrived, like, it was just too perfect. Like, I don't know if anyone else thinks this, even Safi, but, like, you couldn't have picked, like, a better duo of people to demonstrate this whole system, like these two big guys who are starting to kill each other, and it's like, oh, well, you could stop this. All you have to do is press a button.
Because they're already controlled, too. So
yeah.
If they're controlled, how How did they get to be like this? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Did something malfunction with their controlling mechanisms?
Or maybe it was just, it's going to the next level? I don't know, but like, it's just really contrived. Like, these two people specifically is who Lucy sees. I think it was all set up that way. I think that all of it was meant to happen like that for some reason. Because it was just too perfect. It's like, that's really a stupid, that's a stupid thing. Like, we should have mind-controlled society, because there could be these two big guys who try to kill each other, and they're so dumb and they're so small-brained, all they'll want to do is kill each other, so...
It's like A Wrinkle in Time.
We have to do it. Okay.
That's what it reminded me of,
I don't know.
except it's not fully fleshed out. There's imperfections to it, which is them fighting and when they can be controlled. And all of that is just, and there needs to be a button that needs to be pressed that would control both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
It's all, see, now they're getting into the machinations of it. I guess that's the word.
The machinations.
Machinations, and it doesn't really add up.
And if you press the button, what's that going to do to all the other people who already control?
It doesn't have an effect on them.
But why?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. That
how does
they
the
all
button
have their own frequency?
Well, how does the button just stop working for people just because they're already in full control? You know?
See, that's the thing.
That doesn't make sense.
And maybe the regular viewer wouldn't question that, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. Sorry, I think it's weird, and it's very not good. But anyway, and then Kyle, now it's Hank, but we call him Kyle. That's his real name, okay? So that's why we call him that. I just wanted to explain that if you didn't figure that out already. But he tells all the people in the room, and I'm talking about a huge room where it's full of desks, and every desk has a person, and they're doing some kind of task. One person's sharpening pencils. That's all they do all day long. That was one of the people he introduced. But he says, she wants to let you go. She wants to let you go. She wants to open. He says, she wants to open the doors. And they all freak out. Do we have to go? Do we have to go outside? So it kind of reminds me of something, but I won't say. But anyway, so that's really basically, so you begin to see that, one, it's bizarre, and it's like this control that he thinks this is the society we have to have. There's one layer of people who I guess have money and power, and then there's another layer who's likes the controlling things, the implementing the control, and then everybody else is just to be manipulated. And you begin to see that what Lucy wants to do about taking him back and she wants to, quote, free all these people from what they're living in.
I don't know if you could do that.
I know. And you begin to see that she's very naive and idealistic. And he makes fun of that, her idealism, but he brought her up. It's his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He's her parent. They showed him reading when he was having something that remember with Maximus, he had that guy blow up that area, and he got a text or something that the job had been done. That was him reading to her when she was a little kid. So I mean, he was taking care of them. I mean, having a big influence on their upbringing. And he wonders why she's idealistic, why she has these everything is right and wrong and very sharply distinct from the other. He brought her up.
The golden rule.
The golden rule. So I mean, it's his fault. What's he why is he acting like that? Why is he making fun of her? This is his, what he did. She's the product of him.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So I would say, overall, because we've really ripped this episode apart, overall, I think that what it feels like is the season is coming up towards a mid-season finale. It's not coming towards a season finale. But unfortunately,
there's 2 more episodes.
But unfortunately, it is a season finale. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like there should be 8 more episodes after these 8 episodes are finished. Because realistically, there's not going to be any big spectacular finale, and the next season can't go anywhere new because they're still going to be cleaning up the leftovers of this season. It's like when you make a big Thanksgiving dinner, and it's like, well, we're not going to be able to eat all of this tonight. We're going to have leftovers for a couple of days, because that's what it feels like for this show. I would give this episode a D.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm getting tired of the show.
Well, I was going to give it a C, but then, because I did appreciate them showing, I don't know, more about, let's say, the ghoul and his wife and the things he said to her, but still, there's everything that happened, everything, in every section, it just brings up more questions than answers. And if there's only 2 more episodes, and you have all these different groups, that's not good.
Yeah.
Can they really cover all that?
And they're still introducing new things, too.
And I'm thinking...
That's not good either.
I was thinking, and I think I even said it at the beginning, I thought maybe they could all converge together. There was one thing, and they showed, when Lucy woke up, and she saw where her father was, she saw this beautiful, very stylish, colorful sundress, one color, and it looked like it was going to be for her, that it would fit her, and they do show in an upcoming trailer her wearing that and going back to the vault, and I'm like, what in the heck is that going to mean?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I mean, and I don't get the dress, anyway, well, they don't do anything with that in this episode, but my point is that everything that they did...
Is she going to wear that to the wedding?
Well, she's going to be a little late for the wedding.
I don't know.
But anyway...
maybe there's a secret, maybe they can fast travel. Like in the game, that, you can press a button and then you're at the vault. Fast travel.
But yeah, and I was wondering too, she wants to take her father into custody, and that makes, and I think she is, and she said it, she's taking him back to the vault. She's going to march him through all of that she just marched through out of Vegas.
What would be funny?
All those monsters, just her and him.
What would be really funny? If she takes him to the incest club, she'd be taking him into custody. Get it?
Custody.
Because they'd have custard. They're like, welcome back, Lucy. Have some custard.
And I don't know. I think that's, to me, that vault crap is the worst part of the season. I don't like it. And it's because it's really...
It's just unnecessary.
Well,
that's why it's bad. It's not that it's bad. I think it's mildly entertaining. But it's just pointless.
I think it might be to provide levity because everything else is so serious. And I don't get the philosophy about blowing up the world to be powerful.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, you see some of this evidence of threatening wars everywhere to pretend like you're powerful when you're when you're just the opposite. But just to carry, I mean, you're talking about a very intricate plan, and that little object that they stuff into people's necks, they call it the automated man, and all of that. It's so nefarious, but it doesn't. It's illogical. I don't know. So anyway, I gave it a D. I was going to give it a C, and then after going through it all, I got mad. The one thing, I guess the reason why I thought about giving it a C was because
the acting.
Well, they focus more on certain people this time. A lot more. They took a longer time with them than usual. And but like, look with the ghoul. He got rescued by this monster, and of course Marco knew what it was right away, and
yeah.
But that's like another component to the story,
yeah.
A new component. He says, he goes, "There's a war coming," and
see,
and he goes, "The Enclave created all of us."
You could do that in the game, because in the game you have a lot more time. In the game, you could probably play Fallout New Vegas for like 50 hours total, or even more.
50 hours.
And there's no 50 hours of a TV show. There's only 8 hours now, because TV shows aren't TV shows anymore. But I would also like to say, Safi mentioned the Vault stuff is her least favorite stuff. Personally, I think that the Brotherhood of Steel storyline is the worst part of the show. I wish that they would just get rid of the Brotherhood of Steel entirely. I really don't care about them at all.
I think it's those suits. That's the fascination with them. I think that's what that's all about.
I hate the Brotherhood. I don't care about them.
All that other stuff doesn't... It's almost like they think they're more powerful than what they really are.
I don't care about the Enclave.
They're the problem. And who knows where that house is? I mean, is he walking around like Kyle, or is he cryogened?
No, Mr. House you'll see in the game. When you get back to that. You'll see what happened.
I was going to say one more thing. I don't know if I can remember now. I don't know. It's I don't know what else to say about it, except I just don't know how they're going to... I have no idea how they're going to end this season with just 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I wanted to mention that Norm, that's the brother, right?
Yeah.
Lucy's brother. He used to be a character on the Hannah Montana show.
Wow.
As a kid. And so he's like 30 now, about 30. And he, he's had a hard time trying to go from that kind of character and being a kid actor to being adult and being on a show. But he's also a photographer. So
I wish they'd just split off and have a whole show about his character, because I think they could, and it would be its own thing, and that would be good. But they're not going to do that because they suck.
Well, I looked him up because I wanted to know if I had never seen him. I wonder if he'd been in anything before. And I didn't watch that show, so I may have seen part of one episode or something, but that was a long time ago. But anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Do you know what they could call his show, Safi?
No.
Norm of the North.
Okay,
Get it?
whatever.
Get it?
So anyway, I think we got to finish.
Safi, there's a really bad movie. It's an animated movie. It's called Norm of the North. And it's all about a polar bear, and the polar bear twerks in the movie. It's a kid's movie, apparently. But it's really, really bad.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think we should wrap it up. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make some comments about what you think about the content.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas about how they're going to resolve any of this, or are they going to resolve it?
Or do you even care?
Is it going to just be one big cliffhanger? I don't see how they cannot have it a cliffhanger episode. Because if you watch Grimm, that was one of my favorite shows, they did that a few times. They said, sorry, you're going to have to wait till next season to see what happens.
But
But it was more the storylines were more focused.
And if I recall, in Grimm, stuff would actually happen. You know, like every episode, they would defeat new monsters. So, you know, that's not happening on this show. On this show, you know, in a lot of shows, people don't realize, but there's episodes that need to be filler. There's episodes that need to be set up episodes. That's just necessary for a good TV show.
But that's when they have more episodes.
No. But the point is that all this season has been is set up episodes. And that's a bad show. I've never seen this before, ever, in the history of TV shows. And I've seen a lot of TV shows. I've never seen a season of TV where all it is just set up, and no payoffs, nothing going on. At the bare minimum, stuff goes on in other shows. So.
Okay, so.
Lastly, please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and head on over to our Patreon page, because that is where you'll get to see all of our secret stuff, all the stuff you'll never be able to see on YouTube here, including our full unedited movie reviews, behind the scenes for the making of my short film, my complete short film, and a ton of bonus content, including rankings, commentaries, and in the very near future, I will rank the characters of Fallout Season 2, which will be basically like putting every character in the F tier and then ranking them all in the F tier.
Well, how are you basing your rank on their acting, the character development?
I guess just how good the character was. Like, I don't even know what to say for this season because the characters all suck. But, like, let's just say for Dexter, you know, like, obviously Dexter goes in the top tier. And then there was one killer in that season, and he's just in the show for, like, 2 episodes, and they kind of wasted him. So I would put him in, like, the D tier or the C tier and say, like, well, he should have been on the show more. They wasted his character. So that's how I do it.
Okay. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.